The legendary Coachella Festival is in full swing, with weekend one of the festival taking place last weekend. And even though the festival is usually full of celebrities, not every celebrity is allowed to attend. Let's get into the top 10 celebrities who are banned from Coachella. In at number 10, Kanye West. Kanye West and Coachella have a difficult history. In early 2022, when Kanye got in a feud with Trevor Noah, a petition was started demanding that Kanye be banned from performing at Coachella in the future. The petition was launched March 17th and racked up more than 29,000 signatures, calling for Kanye to be removed from the festival's lineup. The description of the petition states, quote, "No one seems to want to stand up to him, Kanye, and the ones that do, he puts under fire as well. Coachella should be ashamed of themselves and should not be giving him any more of a platform. Please sign and share." Although Coachella did not give in to this petition, Kanye did not end up performing at the festival, as he decided to drop out just 2 weeks before the occasion. A source told E! that West dropped out to, quote, "focus on himself." The festival was adding too much pressure to him amid his Kim Kardashian divorce. Since Kanye left them hanging last minute, it makes sense they would not call on him to headline ever again. In at number 9, Travis Scott. After the Astroworld Festival tragedy took the lives of over 10 Travis Scott fans, many festivals were reconsidering having Scott on their roster. One of the most talked about festivals was Coachella, where Scott was set to perform later that year. However, after Astroworld, many petitions popped up asking the festival to cut him from their lineup. The most popular Change.org petition racked up over 60,000 signatures in a matter of days. In the weeks that followed, Coachella officially announced that they dropped him as a performer. According to Variety, Coachella told the rapper's agent, Kara Lewis, that it intended to remove him from the lineup and would pay a fee to have him no longer perform, since at the time controversy surrounding the rapper was too much for the festival to take on, specifically since safety and security are the most important aspects of any festival. In at number 8, Radiohead. The band Radiohead did the unthinkable and walked off the Coachella stage during their performance after the performance was plagued with issues. The band headlined the 2017 show, but during the performance the band experienced tons of issues with the sound. First, the sound went out during a performance of their song 15 Step, and it was so bad they decided to leave the stage to regroup. When they eventually came back, they started to play the song Let Down, but they were forced to walk off stage yet again after the sound cut out. When the band returned, frontman Tom York addressed the issue. Billboard reported, quote, asking the crowd, "Can you actually hear me?" He then added, quote, "I'd like to tell a joke to lighten the mood, but we're Radiohead, so F that." The band ended up playing the rest of the 2-hour set with minor interruptions, but the fans were outraged with Coachella for not fixing the sound issues immediately. Since the band made this festival look bad, there's a high chance they won't be asked back. In at number 7, Sly Stone. The funk legend performed at the 2010 Coachella Festival, but the performance was overshadowed by a strange rant from the singer. In the end, LA Weekly called the performance a, quote, "sad spectacle." The singer was reportedly homeless less than a year before his Coachella performance that was supposed to be his big comeback, but it was a complete disaster. During this performance, Stone cut his songs short, asked how long he had to stay on stage to get paid, and went on a rant about his former manager, Jerry Goldstein. The rant against Goldstein was so bad that the manager ended up suing Stone for slander because Stone claimed it, quote, implied he was a thief. Stone then countersued Goldstein as well as an entertainment attorney for diverting royalties owed to him, and he actually won $5 million in 2015. Even though he ended up winning this dispute, the spectacle caused long-term damage to his reputation and Coachella for hosting the disaster. In at number 6, The Cure. In 2009, while The Cure was performing at Coachella, the band went way over time. It was so bad that the festival was forced to pull the plug. Midnight is the usual cutoff point for the festival. When The Cure was on stage, they decided they did not want to follow this rule. Instead, they refused to stop playing and thought they would be able to carry on for their fans. But it's not that simple. Coachella is so strict about their midnight cutoff point that they decided to pull the plug on the band so their set would end. While the band was performing the song Boys Don't Cry, the festival pulled the plug on the instruments. Then they blasted field lights all over the crowd to let them know it was time to go. Reportedly, the band still kept playing and some fans rushed to the front of the crowd to hear the final notes of the song unplugged. But clearly after breaking the rules, the band is not allowed back. Halfway number 5, CeeLo Green. CeeLo Green appeared at the 2011 Coachella Festival, but his behavior left a lot of fans frustrated. First, he showed up about 30 minutes late to the set, which led to many fans booing him and even deciding to leave. When he did finally show up, he only had 20 minutes left for his set. Instead of taking accountability, he decided to blame his lateness on the festival. He came to the stage and said, quote, "Sorry guys, I just landed. Y'all still gonna party with me? I only have 20 minutes. It ain't my fault. They should have given me a better time slot." He only played 5 songs before the sound was cut and he walked off stage. At first, when the music stopped, his band seemed shocked, but then CeeLo walked off as he was booed. All in all, it was a disastrous performance, and he was not asked back. And at number 4, Louis Tomlinson. Louis got in some hot water when he decided to call out the festival for not having enough bands. When the 2018 lineup was announced, the singer took to Twitter and asked, quote, "Where the F are all the bands? It's a festival." That year, all 3 headliners were solo acts, which clearly did not sit well with the singer, who rose to fame through his boy band One Direction. In the end, tons of people on Twitter commented back that there were a lot of bands on the list, so his criticism was not really accurate. Nothing more was ever really said about it after the fact, but I'm sure the festival did not like being called out like that. And at number 3, Kelly Berglund. Disney actress Kelly Berglund was arrested at the 2016 Coachella Festival for trying to use a fake ID. The 20-year-old star apparently tried to meet up with some of her friends in a 21+ area. When she tried to use the fake, she was caught by police. She was then arrested, slapped with a citation, and got her mugshot taken. But she was quickly sent back to the festival, where she got to enjoy the rest of the weekend. She was spotted at the Paper magazine party the next night, so clearly she still had a good time. And at number 2, Gerard Butler. In 2012, Gerard Butler was one of the most talked about celebrities at Coachella, because the actor was accused of hooking up with a random woman in a porta potty at the festival. At the time, Butler was fresh out of rehab for his substance issues. However, he was apparently not shy at all around the women. One source told Perez Hilton that Butler and a brunette woman were, quote, grinding like they were at a middle school dance and getting very handsy. Then all of a sudden the pair made their way to a porta potty. Then after a while the pair came back out and joined the festival once again. The source continued that he, quote, didn't seem to care who was watching. And finally, number 1, Justin Bieber. While Justin Bieber was in his rebellious era in 2015, he started a scene at Coachella. While Drake was on stage performing, Bieber tried to get into a VIP area of the stage, but that area happened to be at full capacity. When security told Justin he was not allowed in because of this capacity issue, he threw a fit and started screaming at the guards. Bieber yelled that he was invited by Drake himself and refused to leave. That's when a security guard grabbed Justin and put him in a chokehold. Then after that altercation, Justin left. E! News also reported that year that Bieber, quote, caused an enormous scene and threw a fit when Kendall Jenner wasn't allowed into a party because she was too young. All in all, it's clear that Justin was very entitled at this time, and I'm sure he got a stern warning from Coachella that his behavior would not be allowed at the festival. Alrighty guys, so that's all for the list, but before I go, I'm going to shout out some comments from top 10 celebrities that were forced to sign prenups part 2. Michelle said, Denise Richards could have taken half of Charlie Sheen's earnings and decided against it, much respect. I know, I can't even believe it, because he was so rich. 2.5 Men was so successful at one point in time, making tons of money, so she could have really cleaned house, but you know, for whatever reason she didn't, so I mean, she's a better person than me. B. Gerald Jones said, prenup should be required for every marriage in my opinion. I do think over time they're becoming way more common. I think they will continue to be more common. Even someone I'll probably get a prenup, why wouldn't I, you know? Then the Juliet said, a napkin, really? One would think Spielberg would have been smarter than that. I know, in a way, I guess why wouldn't it be a legally binding document? I wonder what the hangup was there, because if both people signed it, couldn't anything technically be a legally binding document? But I don't know anything about the law, but clearly if you're so rich and famous, you would clearly have many lawyers drafted up, so that part I understand. Just get a real prenup. But, at least you tried with something. Alright guys, that is all for the video today. I've been your host, Mackenzie Smith, and we'll catch you in the next one.